my name is Jade and welcome to my second video. I'm so excited. I was gonna upload one on Sunday, but then I just didn't have time because I went away for the weekend. But as you can probably tell by the title, I'm going to be telling you the difference between Victoria and Queensland. So I moved from Cairns to Melbourne and then from Melbourne back to Queensland, and I thought it would be a really fun idea to tell you who's who in the zoo. So besides the obvious, aka it is super cold in Melbourne and you need to learn that 20 degrees is a good day, and then if you're in Queensland it gets to like 20 degrees and you're like, oh my god, winter's here. Which funnily enough, the temperature here today is 19 degrees and overcast. So I'm literally being the person that I'm talking about. I'm wearing a sweater in 19 degrees and I'm like, oh my god, it's cold. Or you see those girls posting on Instagram like, oh my god, sweater weather, oh my god, cuddle weather. Anyway, lol me. Okay, first things first. I realize that some people, especially people in Victoria, I feel are not going to agree with this. However, this is just based on my experience, so apologies if anyone gets offended by this. I feel like Queenslanders are a little bit more laid back and it's a bit more slow paced, whereas when you go to Melbourne, everything's boom, 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 very hustle and bustle, everyone's in a rush, and it's a little bit intimidating when you first go to Melbourne because it is a lot more fast paced. If you go into the city, everyone's in a rush, no one wants to stop and smile at you or have a chat, whereas Queensland's like, a bit, how you going? Queenslanders also aren't too fussed. They don't make a fuss about things. Whereas I feel like if you're in Victoria, there's going to be more people complaining in cafes and stuff. Like people just take everything way too seriously, especially if it involves coffee. I worked in a cafe in Melbourne for a year and a lot of the people were such sooks. Queenslanders are way more bogan, including myself. I'm a self-proclaimed bogan, unfortunately. Like, it's just who I am. This is the way I was raised. All of my friends in Melbourne would pull me up on things that I would say. So when I went to uni, there was one of my friends in particular, Rana, who I would say something and I would always be like, oi, blah, 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 blah. And then he'd be like, oi. I wouldn't even realize that it wasn't a thing that people say. And to this day, every time I say oi, I'm like, oh, that's so cringy. And then I also say a or hey at the end of like every sentence. So I'll be like, oh, it's a good day today, eh? Or that assignment was so hard, eh? I don't know, those are just some examples of things that I found that I said that people were like, why do you say that? Or you can tell you're from Queensland because you say a every 5 seconds, which is also very bogan, so sucks to be me. Other things that my friends would pull me up on is like slang. So my friends would want to go to the beach and they would say, oh, you know, let's go to the beach. And I'd say, oh, should I wear my togs? And they'd be like, girl, what the hell are you talking about? And I'd be like, you know, like swimmers. And they'd be like, they're called bathers. And I was like,
that sounds like something a nana would wear in the bath.
Anyway, I found that I started to catch on to the things that they were saying, and I started saying bathers and then I hated myself. Another one is potato cakes versus potato scallops. I don't even eat fish and chips that much, but one time I went out and got drunk and me and my friends went to this fish and chip shop in Victoria. I was like, can I please get a potato scallop? Like a piece of potato that's deep fried and looks like this and is delicious and like really good for you, obviously. Literally every single person in this fish and chip shop was like mortified by what I'd said, and they were like, it's a potato cake. And I was like, I just personally think that cakes are like, you know, chocolate, vanilla, caramel. I couldn't pick up on that one. I just thought, no, I can't. Another thing was I was at work one day and I had a popper and they called it a juice box. We're not in America, and they literally didn't even know what a popper was. They'd never heard that word before. All of my uni friends said these two things. So they use the word chat when they're trying to say something's gross. So if someone was, say, you know, really disgusting and like spat on the side of the road or something, you'd be like, oh, that's chat. Like, that's so gross, which I have no idea where that even came from. And then they also say munt, but they're not referring to munted as in cooked or drunk or whatever. When they say munt, they mean vomit. So they'll be like, oh yeah, I got really drunk on the weekend and I munted in the toilet. Ew, such a disgusting word. That's what they would call chat. One thing that I will give Victoria is that the atmosphere is amazing. In the city, everything's open late, just people everywhere. You can just go to a restaurant at like 10 o'clock at night and have dinner. Oh, not to mention there's like no lockout laws. You can stay out all day and all night if you like. They have like daytime raves. So cool. There's just more time for activities, you know? I feel like in Queensland, when you go out for dinner, if it gets past 8:30, it's kind of, everything becomes sort of a ghost town. You know, there's the lockout laws, you're not allowed shots after 12 o'clock and all that. So that's 1 point for Victoria. They dress way better. They have so much more fashion sense. I guess because it's colder, they have more opportunities to wear like boots and scarves and that kind of stuff. Whereas in Queensland, I always see people not wearing shoes to like Woolworths or whatever. But if you do that in Melbourne, people would look at you like you had two hairs. Unheard of to wear no shoes. Like everyone in Melbourne puts in like more effort, especially if you're in the city. But like they always have their hair done. They're always immaculate. Everyone just looks dressed up. And not even just dressed up, a lot more variety of people as well. I feel you can get away with a lot more if you want to wear something outrageous or wear outrageous makeup. It's a lot more accepted. That's one thing I really like about Melbourne, is it's super cultured, which is the first thing anyone ever tells you about why you should move to Melbourne. It's super cultured, whatever that even means. No. Huge one is AFL versus rugby. So obviously in Victoria there's no state of origin because, you know, Queensland versus New South Wales, duh. But yeah, so no state of origin. No one gives a crap about rugby. If you talk about rugby, they're like, huh? So everyone's AFL in Victoria, and everyone's rugby here. In Queensland we call AFL GayFL, and literally everyone gets so offended if you say that in Victoria. Everyone's like, get away from me. And when I got to Victoria, everyone was like, who do you go for in football? Like, it's all they talk about. And I was like, I don't know. I don't really follow football. I've always been a rugby girl, if anything. Barely watch that. I only watch it for the talent. But in saying that, the talent is better on the AFL teams, in my opinion. In terms of hot men, I just feel like rugby players are kind of meatheady and like they're just big and they just sort of like tackle each other. I know nothing about footballs, but I just feel like AFL, it's a bit more of a skillful game than rugby in my opinion, and it's way easier to follow and they have really good songs. So yeah, when I got to Victoria, everyone was like, you have to choose an AFL team, and the best advice that I got given was anyone but Collingwood. So you learn that quick smart, Collingwood is not a thing. So my choices were between, this is based on my friendships with people, my choices were Cats, Geelong Cats, Sydney Swans, or what's the other one? Or Carlton. So I was kind of switching between those, but in saying that, I kind of favoured Richmond because I love their song. Seriously bad justification for a football team, but whatever. Daylight savings. I know for a fact that Queenslanders are so against it. Queenslanders do not understand it. Like, they do not get it, they're not interested, they don't want it, which is fair enough because it's like way too hot here. However, I used to be one of those people. I hated daylight savings, hated the idea of it, didn't understand it, thought it was a waste of time. And then when I lived in Melbourne for 3 years and I got daylight savings and I got to go for walks at 7 o'clock in the afternoon on the beach, I was like, because it is so good. I do miss that so much. And then it's kind of cool as well because when you're in Victoria, you get to watch the Bachelor finale an hour before everyone else and post it on your Facebook and annoy the crap out of everyone in Queensland, which I did a couple of years ago, sorry. Victorians, I don't care what anyone says, you're supposed to indicate off freaking roundabouts. My friends would at me about it, and my friends were adamant that it like wasn't a rule. I googled it. It is in fact a road rule in Victoria and nobody follows it. How can someone know where you're going if you don't indicate? It got to the point where I literally had been given so much shit about indicating off roundabouts that I just stopped doing it. No one drives a manual car. This amount of people drives a manual car in Victoria. Every single time when one of my friends would get into my car, they'd be like,
"You driving manual?"
And they'd be like so shocked, and I was like, yeah, I do, skill, and I know everything about cars. But I just think that the police in Victoria, they really do their job. So Police in Queensland are a little bit more laid back. What I noticed was they let you off more. When they do book you, they're a lot nicer about it. Like, they don't feel entitled, they don't feel like they have to be an asshole to you. Yes, obviously if you're doing the wrong thing you need to get in trouble, but they don't need to be a dick about it. So I actually had a really bad experience with the police in Victoria, so I may be biased here. I might actually make a video about that because I had a super bad experience. I was in the wrong, but the way they went about it was inappropriate. So the whole grading system for year 12 and entry scores and everything is completely different. So Queenslanders have their OP scoring system, and you get graded on like the whole year plus that exam that you do, QCU. It's just graded on the whole year. And then I'm pretty sure in Victoria they've got their score, and then they've got a test as well, but they're marked on like their overall score or their every term or something. It was confusing to me, but anyway. Basically, what I found was every single friend of mine from uni had studied health and psych, and I swear they don't even offer that in Queensland. Maybe it was just my school, but I think that the Queensland education system is a bit backwards, which is why I stopped studying education, but it's getting better. Everyone, and I mean everyone in Victoria, plays freaking netball. I knew a few people here and there that played netball in Queensland, but I swear to God, it must be like a winter thing, but literally every girl I know in Victoria played netball. They are insanely obsessed with it. They will like miss out on uni balls and birthday parties and stuff to play netball. I'm sure there's so many more things. I honestly felt like I was in a different world. They are chalk and cheese. It was crazy. It's crazy to think that there can be so many differences between states in the one country. If you think of any more, I would love to hear them. I would love to know if you agree with me or not. So comment below what you think. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, that was a weird noise. Orange and poppy seed, not freaking potato. Seriously, get your shit together, Melbourne. What is the temperature right now? Thanks for watching. You can catch me next time. Oh wow, that was retarded. Kayla, can you please tell me what the temperature is? Probably no. I just said no really weird. My name is Jade Morris. I'm not saying that. Okay, let's not do that. Just stay in the front there. As a bit of insight into the differences between Victoria and Melbourne. I mean, love that for me. So weird. Love you guys.